I'm here today with DeAnne A. She's with Pacific Life Insurance Company and has had an incredible career. She's going to tell us a little bit about her background, being raised by 2 members of the armed forces, as well as her 5 C's to successful leadership. So we have a lot to cover here. DeAnne, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. I'm very, very happy and honored to be here with you today.
I must say, I've come to many commercial conferences, and while I feel when we go to residential conferences, men outnumber women, it feels even more so when I come to conferences for the commercial space. And here you are, a successful leader. Can you tell me a little bit about your journey and how you've been so successful in this part of the industry?
Yes, no, absolutely. I too feel the same way when I come to conferences. There are definitely an imbalance, I think, between men and women. For me, I think some of the keys to my success is having a fantastic mentor. Actually, I've had 2 mentors in my life. My first mentor was somebody who took me on and helped me with the technical part of my job. The second mentor really helped me strategize. And both of these mentors were women. They're both now retired. So they were women in real estate before women in real estate existed.
Mm-hmm. And are you giving back in the same way? Are you mentoring other men and women in the industry?
Absolutely. I've actually mentored both men and women. I'm currently mentoring 2 women. And I think the importance of mentoring is really believing in someone and seeing a path for that same person.
And you were raised by, I believe it was, your mother and father were both in the Marine Corps, is that correct?
They were.
Tell me what it's like to be raised in a family that is, both parents are in the armed forces.
It was an amazing experience. I look back now in amazement. If you asked my 10-year-old self, I would say that I went without a lot. Mm-hmm. But I look back at it now and see that I gained a lot from having them both. My mother was a woman Marine in the late 60s and early 70s when she
unprecedented, right?
Exactly. She was a sergeant, actually. She had to get out of the Marine Corps when she was pregnant with my sister. But my father stayed in for many, many years. So we grew up in that environment. And probably my biggest takeaway that I still use today is a quote that my mom shared with me. And that was, quote, "All you have is your word." And that's trust. And it builds on trust. And I still use it to today.
Well, it's serving you well. I know from my involvement and being at MBA and knowing the members who are really active, you are a really active participant with MBA, and we are grateful for that. So you have participated in committees, gone through programs. So in addition to your day job, you're also making sure you are out there in the industry and doing things to help make our industry better. Can you describe that's done for you in your career?
Absolutely. I think it's somewhat launched it for me. You know, we see things often through the lens of the company that we work for. So for me, it's through Pacific Life's lens. Mm-hmm. As I've branched out more and more within the industry, I'm able to see things differently, meet people, leverage relationship, network, share that networking with others, both men and women, so that the people get exposure and that as an industry, we're building our bench.
I always say networking is so important, and we really need to make the time to make those connections, and if we know someone who could benefit from meeting that person. So you are a model for what we need to be doing more in the industry, so I really appreciate that. And I'm going to end with the 5 C's. Tell me about them.
Yes. So I graduated college with a degree in organizational leadership. And from the time I graduated till a couple of years ago, I started looking at a formula for success. You know, cost of entry. Everybody has the technical aspects of their job. But those soft skills, what do people need to be successful? So I broke them out into 5 C's. So the first C is you have to care. Right? You have
so important.
Absolutely have to care about people. You have to care about yourself. You have to be curious. Don't accept the status quo. You have to have the ability to communicate. A lot of people think communication is one way, but you have to be able to communicate. You have to have confidence, and especially as women, both confidence and then last C is courage. Those 2 combined, people have to stand up and exhibit them.
Well, we just heard from Walter Isaacson last week at a conference, and he said what made leaders so successful was they had an extreme sense of curiosity. So you are right on the money with all 5 of your C's, but particularly curiosity.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing your wisdom, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much, Marcia. I appreciate it.